West is under growing pressure to answer some basic questions.
A number of unidentified flying objects have appeared over many parts of our country.
The U.S. military shooting down 3 mysterious flying objects in just 3 days.
U.S. officials described it as an octagonal structure.
No identifiable propulsion system. The object interfered with the plane's sensors.
I made the decision to shoot down the object.
Have you ruled out aliens or extraterrestrials?
I haven't ruled out anything at this point.
There is no indication of aliens or extraterrestrial activity.
What you're about to see may disturb you.
Get it next time. Hey, Seth. How you doing?
Man, Hash, I'm doing so good. High five. Great day today.
Great day
Cha.
today. Hey, so it's me, Action Movie Dad, and you may be seeing this on the Action Movie Kids channel, which may be very confusing to you.
Nice. That's exciting.
But I just wanted to address that right away. Yeah, it's me, Action Movie Dad, and we're going to talk about visual effects stuff. But back to the program. Seth, have you ever seen anything that you can't explain?
I'm looking at one right now.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Well, it's my window, I think, in real life. How do windows work? It's so weird. You can see right through them, but you can't go through them. It's incredible. Speaking of seeing through things and going through things, Michael, how you doing back there?
Oh, hey, I'm doing great. How are y'all doing today?
So good.
Ooh, hey, it's Michael Zalewski, our amazing
guys.
Michael, it still looks like King Kong Michael reaching in through the window to me. This setup.
It's a ginormous mic. I'd love that. Well, Seth, it's nice to be here in our office,
nice.
VFX Files office, and basically we're in this office because we end up with all of the VFX that nobody else apparently wants to tackle.
Entirely untrue.
It's very it's very true. But we are here to I requested to take the intro, and then I had no idea what I was going to do with it. But today we are here because we've been hearing a lot about objects flying in the sky of late, in the news, in print media, which I'm sure you all receive. Yes, I thought that we could get the three of us together, Michael with his Air Force experience, and Seth with your your Spielbergian collection of movie trivia and knowledge, and that we could discuss UFOs and figure out if what we've been seeing on TV is finally the arrival of these long promised by the movies UFOs, or what are they calling them? UAPs, the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena now? Mm-hmm. It's a rebrand. It's just, freshen it up a little bit.
Well, because everyone hears UFO and thinks aliens. The government's like, it's not aliens. It's UAPs, which are just totally different from UFOs.
I love that that's like absolutely only a temporary solution, because it's like the alien stigma will just continue to creep up after it, and then we'll have to start a new one once it shows up.
With a new name, it'll be you something else.
Unidentified, not alien thing. UNAT.
But the thing is, they can't say not aliens, because at some point they're like, it could be an alien at some point.
We can't say anything's not an alien. We don't know.
Yeah, there's not a 0% chance of anything.
Literally unidentified.
Completely scientific about it. But
See, I want the audience to know, the viewer to know, I said viewer, there's one person out there. How you doing, Darren? No, I'm kidding.
We've got 26 people over on the Action Movie Kids. Welcome,
Darren,
all.
your name was the first one in the chat that I saw, by the way. That's why I singled you out.
Wow, there's 34 on Red Giant. There's Action Movie Kids got a bunch of folks watching compared to the rest. Cool.
I'm excited. Stay, guys. If you've never watched this show before, it's got so much Hashi, you will be like, where the hell has this guy been? Oh, he's been on this other channel, not broadcasting here as much as over here. Trust me, this is the place to be. But don't unsubscribe from Hashi. Anyway, the point here is, I want to make sure everyone knows. Right before we went live, literally like 5 seconds before we came on screen, Hashi goes, I don't know which one of us should play into the Mulder persona and which should play into the Scully persona. And I was like, Hashi, I think we're just two Mulders sitting in a room. And I think this stream is going to just prove that.
Absolutely. Can you imagine the X-Files if it was two Mulders, like two humans utterly convinced? I guess it would be Ghost Hunters or something like that.
That actually sounds like the name of the sequel, because isn't the the Chinatown follow-up, the two Jakes, the X-Files follow-up is
X-Files
the two Mulders.
Too Fast, Two Mulder.
Too Fast, two Mulders. They're two separate pieces of information.
My goodness. Yes, but yeah, well, welcome all of you people who follow the Action Movie Kids channel. We're going to talk about visual effects today, which is something prominently featured on our show. And hopefully if you've grown up with us, you're potentially out there making your own visual effects. And I want you to know that we talk about them all the time and try to teach you how to do that. I can still be your action movie dad over here. So welcome and thank you for coming. And if you want to participate in the larger discussion, usually the largest group of people watching here is on the Red Giant YouTube channel. So yeah, feel free to join over there so you can interact with all of the exciting VFX people. You'll rub shoulders with some really cool people.
And hey, while you're there, hit that subscribe button. We don't care, but our bosses do. Do it.
That sounds great.
Hey, Hosh, you want to watch some clips? I pulled them up on the computer over here.
I would love to watch some clips.
I got this powerful, like 6 megabytes of RAM computer over here. Let's head over to the workstation. So I should have like super compressed these clips, by the way, just to like keep with the. I also attached our weird Harry Potter magical IDs and pictures to the computer here. The logic of this OBS scene kind of falls apart here. But so, Hush, you and I pulled some clips from some of our favorite alien movies. I don't think I got all of them in here. In fact, I feel like I'm missing some.
Yeah, but, so probably spoilers for a handful of these movies. That
for sure.
The most recent one to come out that we'll be talking about is the film Nope. But most of these are well-established UFO sighting-based movies. And we thought that today we would look at some of these clips, and we're going to do two things. One is to show how easy it would be to fake a UFO video, one of the ones that's circulating around here. Also a great Captain Disillusion episode about that. And we also want to maybe pay homage to some of our favorite Hollywood UFO moments, because there's just something so fascinating, right, about UFOs.
Absolutely. Or UAPs, if you will. Or NOPEs, not of planet Earth, which I believe is what it stands for.
Whoa.
Yeah.
My goodness. It's wild.
So, yeah, Nope spoilers. So what we'll do is we'll watch some stuff. And Nope is the most recent, like you said. So let's look at some older stuff first. I have Mulder stuff. Let's just do that. So you actually put in the chat, you put in our Slack, did X-Files even show a real UFO at a certain point? And the first one I thought of...
Spoilers for the X-Files
1997 or 6
seasons and movie.
X-Files Fight the Future. Oh, look, it did get super compressed and weird. This is one of the only times I know of. There is an actual, I think there's a ship crash in, the later season, one of the later seasons or newer seasons. That's very, explicitly a UFO crash. But obviously in the earlier seasons, they were keeping so close to the chest or the vest or whatever the term is. And this one from the movie, Fight the Future, which is that part of the title or just the tagline?
I didn't remember it as part of the title, but it could be. I love that this is basically just the Independence Day ship model.
It really is. Just like a big enough saucer to where it doesn't feel like a saucer. It's just like this side, and it keeps it in this very small, like this human scale, which by the way, that's a cool shot.
These are some great shots.
Yeah. This one right here.
What year would this have been in? Is this the late 90s?
This is 95 or 96, I want to say. Maybe even 97. Michael can maybe confirm. But we got this shot. They run, they fall. And then we stick on all of this smoke. And then they come up on top of the ship as we get this fun reveal, like Back to the Future Part 2 kind of reveal.
That is what that's officially called.
It is. Slide, they fly off. And then we just get this big old Independence Day side of the ship coming up. And do we get like a full shot of it? I don't think. I think it's almost always clipping frame.
We kind of do. Or, well, like when I think that he tries to get Scully to like look up at it, like, isn't that the whole thing? It's like he's getting validated for the 400 years of this show not being believed right here. And Scully gets to
sleep through it.
Remains unconscious just long enough to maintain.
Which, by the way, if you're doing your movie, your X-Files movie, like ballsy and cool to just, I don't know, to do that, to not even validate the character yet. Like, no, we're still continuing with seasons of television.
Just look up slightly.
Which, by the way, I have, oh my God, I think my wife is watching the show today, so I'm so sorry if you don't want me telling people about this. I have had a recurring dream where I turn to my wife and I say, like, there's some kind of giant monster or dragon like about to get us, and I'm yelling, "Oh my God, honey, look!" And then she like is looking at her phone, like, "Hang on one second." And I'm like, "No, look." She's like, "Hold on one second." It's literally this scenario.
Oh my gosh, what a fantastic scenario to be a recurring nightmare.
So this, I'd classify it with Independence Day, which is like the giant,
almost unimaginably,
yes,
big flying thing.
And clipping frame, like not able to be fully contained within the frame. It fits with Independence Day, which this shot I just have been keeping on a still because it's on that frame because it's such a cool frame.
It's a beautiful, beautiful shot.
And this whole sequence, I believe. Oh, I just pulled this shot. Whoops! I meant to pull the sequence. My bad. I think this could be a fun shot to try and reproduce.
Dude, well, do you mean digitally or practically?
Well, obviously, this was done practically. This is like basically, if this is ILM or whoever that did this shot, I guess we should know, is pulling out the old Raiders of the Lost Ark bag of tricks here with the. I think you shoot it upside down, right? Either they shoot it in, it's either underwater or it's upside down with dry ice. You tell me, Hush. You know the answer.
I believe that this one was a cloud tank. Like basically, you pour something like milk or white like titanium paint into the water, right. And then it creates these little clouds, and you make a little dispersal tool that gives you the right look of the like turbulence in there. You have a bunch of lights that are pulling through it, and then you have, in this case, a big spaceship model that probably has the reddish lights on the bottom and just white light on the other side of the ship prop. They may be fixed to a thing or whatever, but then you push the ship right through it.
Oh, really? You think it's all in one?
That's what I would have done.
I mean, that feels
top
like
edge might be composited now that I'm looking at it, but I felt like there was a. Can you tell when the clouds separate from being pushed out of the way there?
Yeah,
it
feels masky to me. I don't know. It feels like.
So maybe it's backwards maybe it's them pouring a bunch of milk onto the top of the saucer, and it spreads out, and then right at the last minute they pull the prop toward them, and the milk starts spilling over the side.
Okay, that's interesting too. I'm
sure I have the Cine effects of this somewhere in a box.
That's true, and if anybody out there does know, let us know in the chat how this one was done. Because when I'm looking at it, I'm thinking that feels like separate passes, and we know that our VFX artists, we like to do things in as many passes as we possibly can if we have the time and money, right? And so
The more passes you have, the more control you have over your final image. And the fun challenge about that over time has been that the more passes you had, the less control you had over registration. And by registration, I mean this shot may have still existed in the optically printed era, where the entire foreground of that city needed to be one layer. But now we think of layers as digital things that you could just slap on top. You find go to a PNG finder of the New York Bridge and throw that in there. But in those days, you had to film a plate of your city here, and you also had to, in this case, likely extremely overexpose, or what would you do? You would shoot the same plate highly underexposed, so everything registered as black except for the sky, and then you'd have to use that as a matte to optically project the. I've messed up my description of the order you do this in.
Well,
but it was much harder. It was much harder than it is.
I even wonder if, let me drop this. I'm pulling this from Premiere. Let me drop this into a sequence and see if I can. See if I can scale this up without ruining our fun effect here of.
Ooh, this sounds great.
Scale. So I guess I can't really, but I'm wondering is that a picture or is it a matte painting?
Matte painting is just as likely.
I don't know, man.
I am fooled by matte paintings all the time. And if you've ever watched a movie made between 1950 and 2000.
I know, very exact
it's
years.
It's called matte painting. Matte painting is tricky business.
Look at those bridge lines, the suspension bridge lines, like that. Would that hold up better as like a?
Ooh, that's a really good point.
You know what I mean? Like I feel like you can't lumimat that kind of thing unless you had a very clear day with no clouds, or somebody meticulously rotoscoping for far less than they're worth. Just a thought. So yeah, Independence Day and the X-Files, Fight the Future. Those are two very similar kinds of UFOs, right?
Excellent. So yeah, one potential challenge for us then is a ginormous spaceship and how you might approximate that if you're trying to do a home video version of this.
Wait a minute. Hang on, I'm going to find something. I've seen this before. Ah, crap.
You've seen what before?
Well, hang on. I got to find it, and I got to make it available offline.
You got a visual point to make. So yeah, if anyone is new to the show, the VFX and Chill is a show where Seth and I, who have both worked with a lot of visual effect kind of filmmaking over the years, get together with Michael Zalapsky here, who has been an expert in After Effects, compositing softwares of all sorts over the years, so we can identify and talk about and gush over some of our favorite visual effects shots. And then for the second part of the show, we will go try to recreate the home-cooked version of a lot of these effects. So you've joined us for an especially exciting show, because we're talking about UFO movies, which are some of the coolest ones ever.
Absolutely.
And I will say that we've got something really cool to show you towards the end of the show that Hashi made in reference to recent events that I'm so excited for you all to see.
Oh, thank you. Oh, you know what? I'm going to send a copy of it to you right now, Michael.
Excellent. Freebie Chillweather from the chat says it would be interesting to try the Independence Day with the new Pyro in Cinema 4D, which I think is true. For those who don't know, Cinema 4D recently, surprisingly, in a point release, launched Pyro, which is fluid/fire smoke simulation type. It's fire smoke type fluid simulation. Natively in Cinema 4D, runs on the GPU. And yes, I think the Independence Day shot with the new Pyro would be a very fun thing to try, because you can push a collider through the smoke and you could probably get a pretty good approximation of how this looks with just pushing a cylinder shape through some smoky fires. I think it'd be cool.
We did get close to attempting that at the end of our This Is Fire episode.
Oh, we did, didn't we?
Very tail end. We got just about there.
You know what? I'm pissed off. This I've got a clip that it's not even worth it. We'll come back to it.
We'll come back. But yeah, let's talk about some of the other types of UFO shots that have been in some stuff. You kind of passed some from Close Encounters back there.
Yeah, these are the first ones I thought of, these classic, like, which is funny. In my mind, in my memory, this moment did not, for some reason in my head, it did not have the models. It was literally just the flare. Like in my memory, this scene was just a bunch of lens flares flying through scene. Which,
are we sure that this is the...
Yeah, I'm not way off, I guess. But no, there are... What the...
that shot must be seen again.
No, get out of here, Independence Day. This, it's definitely got the models in here.
I remembered this as just lens flares as well.
And what I believe this Spielberg is definitely like not basing this on, but like this is has roots in one of his student films or films he made when he was a kid called Firelight, in which he created spaceships that looked very similar to this by I forget what substance it was he put on it, but he put between two glass plates and put it in front of the screen. It was this color blob, basically just flying around in the shot. So it ended up being a very similar look to these, flying lens flares.
That's really cool. And you did a kind of, I would say, like, good nod to these with the short that you made for Red Giant. I don't remember if it was a Film Team Experiment or is it Pizza Time? Is that what it's called? No, and I'm thinking
Order Up. Pizza Time's right. Probably short. Yeah, Order Up. With that, we actually didn't ever see the spaceship, but the idea that one was showing off No Light Factory. And do I have Order Up somewhere? Let me see. I'll tell you what I do have. I do have a little movie. This is what I was trying to pull up. A little movie called Plot Device, in which I just realized our spaceship is very much of the Independence Day.
I like that. With a little Lego piece over in the corner.
I think Rob Redman made this model for us and included the little Lego pieces as a fun little gag. I look at this now and I'm like, I should have made it bigger. I should have made it just fully fill the frame. I could have done more.
It's gorgeous, but you've got a lot of great visual effects things going on there. You've got the integration. It's layered up. You have the trees in front of it in the background there.
Oh yeah, it's a really, really convincing shot. I should say there are a lot of links in the chat. Y'all should probably fire up your favorite note-taking app and just copy all these links so you can watch this stuff after the show is over. But we've had links for the Nope episode of this show, the Fire episode, some tornado episodes because someone in the chat was wanting some more tornado effects, and of course the Film Team Experiments and of Order Up and Plot Device and the behind the scenes of Plot Device. There's a lot of links in the chat. So fire up Notepad or your favorite note-taking app, copy these links so you can watch them after the show.
Absolutely.
Love it. Do that. And if you're new or old to the show, like, know that coming here and enjoying the show live with us is one of the best ways you can do it, because you can request any kind of effect you want. And even if we don't get to it today, it may become material for a future show. And if you have a specific question about something we do today, we can answer it right now, which is really cool. So we're available 1 hour every week to come chat with y'all about visual effects. So please come on by.
Absolutely.
And for those who just tuning in on the Action Movie Kids YouTube, hello, Hashi who does that is here and every week doing visual effects conversation, usually on the Red Giant YouTube channel. But we decided to, because we're having so much fun with UFOs this week, we decided to pop in on the Action Movie Kids. He has been putting out some Action Movie Kid-ish stuff on his Twitter, so make sure you follow him there.
Absolutely, yeah. There have not been a whole lot of new uploads on my channel as of late, because I've been having so much fun over here.
I know. There's been a lot of comments in the chat from your channel asking when you're going to post more episodes.
Oh, I love you all, and I will post as often as I can because I love doing them as well.
But like we said before, like if you need your Hashi fix, like he's here, we're here every week. Like the stuff he's building over here is incredible, and if you like dying social media platforms, head over to Twitter, follow him there. You get tons of stuff there. By the way,
especially the exciting channel But with Raptors, produced by the 100%. Three of us here, called I just said what it was called, but it is a lovely exciting
well, I
Talking about visual effects, you got your spaceships and you got dinosaurs. Like that's where you start. So
well, we have an important thing I do want to discuss real quick is maybe we shouldn't decide this on the air now that I'm thinking about it, but something to be thinking about is what happens if something does happen to Twitter. I'm not saying it will. I'm not an alarmist, but if something were, but with Raptors, we do have an Instagram where we would probably go straight there and be updating there as well. Do we need a Mastodon? Do we need to start a whole new social media platform called
Raptordon?
Pteranodon? That's not a raptor. Yeah. The point is, by the way, I joined Mastodon. And thanks to Tapbot's Ivory, it's like a delightful experience with it's like the early Twitter where it's like 50 people, maybe like 15 people that I really like and are really cool and no brands. And it's fun.
That's pretty cool. I've been trying some stuff there. I'd like to do video posts a lot, and
hang on,
at least 6 months ago or so, 2 months, however long ago, the video posts were not working great.
Wait a minute, what's your name? I can't find you. I looked for you on here.
Exactly. No, I'm something.
Oh, you'll tell me sometime.
I'll tell you sometime. It's I think in my Twitter bio or something.
No,
it's not there anymore.
Hard.
I don't know. I'm on. You can find me around. Oh, well. Just look up Action Movie Kids or Action Movie Dad. But yeah, enough self-promoting. We're here a half hour into the show. I think that we should switch from discussing effects to maybe reproducing some of them.
Right. So let's talk about. I got a couple more I want to look at, and then we can kind of decide. I figure maybe like you want to take like something from one of this pile of inspiration, and I'll take something, and we'll meet on the other side of the mountain. Meet on the other side of the mountain or something. Just a few other clips. We had War of the Worlds, which one of the most badass sequences here, where a camera.
This is it's so phenomenal. This was such a great one to see.
Yeah. In
theaters.
Just these like long. It's like three. This whole sequence is like 3 shots total or something. And the ship itself is obviously not the really interesting part here. It's definitely the death ray, obviously. The
reveal of the ship is pretty darn cool.
It's very cool. And unfortunately, the clip that I pulled doesn't have that. But I remember this shot here is always super scary and cool because it's from the ground. You're seeing it from a human perspective. It's so huge. It's off in the distance. It makes this really foreboding sound. Nobody has any idea what to expect from this thing. So we got tripods. We got Plan 9 from Outer Space clips, which,
oh yes,
to be honest, I kind of lean toward this vibe today.
I mean, it's a very good vibe. It's very cool.
I kind of wondering if I want to take.
Oh my gosh, the way it dangles.
Yeah, I kind of want to do this in cinema. Like I kind of want to just dangle something from a rope or from a line in cinema. And by that I mean get you to show me, Michael.
Newish rope simulation that you could do it with.
It's true.
All right,
you could go high tech, low tech.
Look at this one. You know what? I need to find. Holy crap! Real quick. Do I have? I have a film that I made. Okay. I'll come back to it. I have a special clip from a very early Seth Worley short no one's ever seen. That is UFO centric that I do want to bring up later. But Nope. So
yes.
This movie freaking rules. I cannot get enough of Nope. And here we have the saucer, affectionately known as Jean Jacket in the film. This sequence right here is freaking phenomenal.
It is such a different presentation of this kind of material that makes it so good.
Yeah. Did I miss the dude getting sucked up in the? Oh no, here it is. You have it. I love this. I think because it has vibes of Twister, also because of the smoke tornadoes and things and the dust tornadoes. But the best part of this movie is obviously the run here, where OJ takes off on after giving us what I believe is the most VFX and chill shot in any movie ever. There's a Scorpion crew hoodie, a Scorpion King crew hoodie with green tracking markers on the back of the hood. It takes off through the desert, and this thing chases him with the coolest music. That I might play a little bit
so
of.
great.
So, yeah, look at this swoopy shot. And you did some of this in the Nope episode. I mean, you made this thing in the Nope episode, obviously.
We did. We did a Nope episode before any of us had seen the movie. I think that it was coming out that week or something like that. But just before our episode, that shot was teased in one of the their final trailers or teasers or something like that.
And so I also, there's this kind of shot here when if we see oh no, I thought the shadow came into that shot, but another fun thing to try would be to take like some city geometry or something and cast like a shadow over the... Look at that freaking shot! Good God!
That shot.
It's so good. I want to see this movie so bad because of that shot.
Oh, Michael, did we spoil this for you? I'm so sorry.
I've seen this shot already.
But if I'm going to recreate something from Nope, it'd be that shot right here.
And you've seen the hat poster, right?
The what poster?
Oh man, let me see.
One thing I also love, let's see, in this sequence, is this shot right here. Look at that freaking thing.
That looks
just
so good,
right?
All right, I'm putting it in our chat. Okay. I know that means that you audience can't see it.
In our Slack, you mean? Or oh yeah, okay.
Someone pointed out this poster after having seen the movie and how lovely it is.
Justin Duduc from the chat says, I haven't seen the movie either, so I am also owed an apology from Seth. No, you're not, because he warned you there were spoilers for the movie way early on.
Warned.
You could have
So
skipped.
this poster here.
Yes. Which is one thing you confuse for another, which is beautiful.
Holy crap! That took me a second.
SOBs, right? It's amazing. Anyway,
okay.
Yeah.
Justova from the chat is wondering how they got those realistic shadows on the hill from the UFO. Good question.
You know, that is an excellent question, and I have a feeling there could be 1,000 like different ways that's done here. That could be they probably recreated the geometry there. Like Hashi, how much of that you think is real plate? Like how much you think they rebuilt?
It's a good question. I am curious if anything after that hill rise is real. I mean, I would bet that there was a hill there, but I think what often happens is they might, here's my guess, is that they would have built, there's probably a hill that looks very, very much like that behind this real shot, but most of the real plate is just below the, quote, horizon line where the end of the hill happens. And what they would have done is kind of digitally extended the mountain a little bit and or recreated it digitally projected onto geometry that they could also use for the sim, is what I would have done.
I honestly think OJ would have been the only thing, like, could have added these tube guys. Well, no, because, like, how do you get that much wind to go? That's what I'm curious. I'm looking at this wide shot, and how do you get these tube guys to all lean one direction?
It's interesting that they're leaning a direction, though, and if the wind is coming from the ship, they should be coming towards camera.
So
right?
Then that actually might just be real wind in the shot. That's not an intentional thing that they're all leaning one direction. It's just so then they would be real then.
That's just that movie magic when you're like, yes, let's get this right now. This is wonderful.
Yep. Or we're not going to get it if we don't get it now.
So exhilarating.
So that shot, and then
oh my gosh, that's that shot where it looks over to the side.
Yeah, right. We were sorry. You were looking for that poster when we pulled that. Look at that.
Yeah, look at these scaled ripples on the side that appear right there. That blew my mind because I've never seen someone playing with scale like that with these kinds of things. So it's such a neat detail.
Well, and it hints at, I mean, how much do we want to show? I think it's worth, we're talking about UFOs.
I think we can just show the shots and people can see the movie. So, we'll just talk about the visuals of these shots.
So that's like a hint at what ends up happening with this UFO, which is with the ship, which is we see it and it's like...
becomes a Dumbo parachute.
It does. And it, let me kind of try and skip some story points and just show...
trying to avoid any story moment. Like there are some crazy presentations of
It really is just a big old bedsheet parachute.
Look at that. Look at that beautifulness. I can't imagine seeing this in IMAX and
We could just do a big old cloth simulation here and try and recreate this in cinema. This is where
I think that could be something fun to try to do.
It could be something. I keep saying that, but I'm just going to try the Ed Wood thing.
That sounds great. I'm going to share my screen because there's one other kind of mention of UFOs that I'm seeing a lot these days, and that was a discussion of one that was being tracked by the military here.
Is this recent? This one of the recent ones?
This is pretty recent. Like people have been talking about what this thing could be because it's being tracked at it seems like it's moving very fast, and it has a couple of times where it kind of rotates or does something kind of unexpected, which is pretty cool. But this is not a video of a UFO. This is actually just a handful of layers in After Effects. It's a little sky painting.
Look what you did.
Some fractal noise, getting looped around, and then with a whole bunch of destructive.
I was going to ask if that was just an After Effects
stuff on it.
If that was just an After Effects tracking point, to be honest.
Yeah, so it's just this.
That and little beam flying. That's a kidney stone, is what that is.
Like that, and then added some grain, and now you start to see it kind of looking like a thing. And then you blur it and sharpen it at the same time, and you do that a couple of times, and you start to get these really bizarre artifacts and halos.
By the way, I also figured out a new fun in making our X-Files intro today. I discovered another new fun de-resing trick, which
by the way, shout out to the intro this week. My goodness.
Yeah, we had fun with that one. That was alley-oop.
Do you have it independently loadable? I feel like.
Yeah, why don't we just watch it one more time?
Let's just
partake in our intro one more time.
A number of unidentified flying objects have appeared over many parts of our country.
The U.S. military shooting down 3 mysterious flying objects in just 3 days.
U.S. officials described it as an octagonal structure.
No identifiable propulsion system. The object interfered with the plane's sensors.
I made the decision to shoot down the object.
Have you ruled out aliens or extraterrestrials?
I haven't ruled out anything at this point.
There is no indication of aliens or extraterrestrial activity.
What you're about to see may disturb you.
So we're still here. That was fun watching that intro again. We should have had fake commercials. We should have gone to like some great 90s commercials in between to show that intro.
Oh my gosh. We do need some great 90s commercials in here.
So that, the fun thing that I learned on in fact, I'll show you in a second. We'll put a pin in that. I'm going to come back to that.
Oh, that sounds great.
Fun de-resing.
So you learned a de-resing technique, which basically means taking something that looked good and making it look bad. So this is my example of it, because really the input is just this. It's this little fractal nugget.
I love that
flying
you fooled
around.
everybody. It makes me so happy how much you fooled everybody.
Thank you. And I don't know if I should have done my rough and edges effect on it, because when I do, or without it, you have more of the like pill shape that like rotates a little bit more clearly. And what's funny about these random noise things is that you start really like trying to analyze them and imagine what's going on in them in real life. And you're so focused on this little blip that you wouldn't ever think that this is just fractal noise down here.
No, your brain fills it in for you.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the fun part about the actual shot, is that you're trying to figure, your brain's trying to fill in stuff in the actual shot that you're copying here, and that's why people think aliens, because they're not thinking about what could actually cause this. Now, I would say that it was mentioned in the chat from David Fairchild that Corridor Crew did a good discussion on these UFO videos.
Oh wait, so you're saying
Corridor already did it.
That's what you're saying? Okay.
They're always 7 steps ahead, that corridor.
Well, there are more of them, so they can do more steps in the same amount of time.
There's a great breakdown of some UFO and UAP shots on corridor.
Very cool.
Hey, actually, I like this recreation here. I think you did a really good job. It looks just like if that popped up on Twitter, someone was talking about it, I would 100% think that was the same Navy shot.
Oh yeah, people in the chat were telling you what year it was from. Mm-hmm. Solid work.
So like that's worth noting in general. So I'll tell you a few quick tricks of the way I created this. I knew that I wanted a panning sky that was just basically repeating clouds. So to do that, I did this little gradient background, kind of extra wide comp. It's actually only 2,000 pixels by 500 pixels, because I knew in the end my actual comp should be pretty small, because that'll lend to the low resness of everything. So a gradient in the background, and then I created these clouds. And the way these clouds are created is by a really fun trick, which is you take a fractal noise effect, you put it on a 3D card and lay it down like that, and then pre-comp that into another, basically pre-comp the whole thing into here, and then use it as its own displacement map. So now you get these distortions that look kind of 3D and volumetric. And then you throw them all back into here, and they look, reasonably blended together. And then I added one top level of very light fractal noise. You'll see that it added just some kind of grime to the sky. So as the camera's moving, you'd see these little darker and brighter spots of the sky. Without it, again, it looks like this, very clean. And so this just adds to the velocity you can feel. And then very last, I used the offset effect. And this is one of my favorite tricks. This comp by itself would not be tileable, but if you add, I'll just do it from scratch here, add an adjustment layer to the top of it, and then add the offset effect like this, offset it about halfway. So now I know that the left edge and the right edge loop, right? So on this adjustment layer, if I put a mask right in the center, make it a subtract mask, just feather it out a little bit.
There it is.
Now I know, the edges tile and the middle is fine. So I can throw it into this, whatever comp that I put this in, where I just have it looping forever. And it just creates this kind of, not a very convincing thing like this, but once the grain is on it, that might be real sky. You don't know. Like just that layer of grain makes you believe that that's a photographic thing. And then adding the additional things like blurring something and then trying to sharpen it back into focus really add this standard de-resing kind of look.
Yeah.
Now, Seth, you were saying you came up with something similar in the de-res category. Let's hear about it.
The blurring and sharpening is the thing my friend Joey Chickling taught me years ago. He's a genius at making stuff look analog and crappy on purpose. And it rules. It works so often. You can double that up on top of itself, like over and over, just blur, sharpen. Another thing that I just learned making the X-Files intro, we watch it again, is applying a transform effect to the layer and then scaling it down to something like whatever you want, but let's say 20 arbitrarily, right? So we make it smaller. And then let's apply transform again and now scale it up to whatever it would be to get that back to 100. So in this case,
the inverse,
500, the inverse of that. And so now we see already that de-resed it for sure, like a whole bunch.
Ooh, nice.
That's original, and that's what it's at now. Now, what's really fun is if we put some noise in between those.
Oh, wait, noise in between them?
Yeah, so put renoiser in, crank up that noise, and you get a whole bunch of just disgusting beauty.
Wow.
So that's without the noise, that's with.
It is amazing what introducing a little bit of noise can do to post effects in general, because so many things like the way that a gradient might band with bad compression or something like that. And so a way to fix it is to scatter it with a noise so the compression gets confused. This does the same thing for effects that are relying on trying to transform the image. It's trying to think through so many different types of calculations. If there's noise in there, it doesn't have a nice place to go. And gosh, that looks great.
Yeah. So that's all over our X-Files intro that we did. So anyway, talking about UFOs, I think I want to tackle this Plan 9 gag. Like, something really fun and charming about this dangling spaceship on a painted
I
background.
love it.
What about you?
What do you think your approach is going to be? Do you want to telegraph what you're going to plan to try?
Yeah, so I in Cinema, let me open up Cinema. I've got something, it's not a spaceship, but I've got something I want to dangle in front of a backdrop like this. Let me see how quickly I can pull it up. This is maybe some of my favorite and proudest work that I've ever done. Oh, you know what? I opened up the wrong thing. Let's open that.
If you need a second, I could load up something.
So I've got this Velociraptor riding a BMX bike that I just,
like you do.
Like you do. And I made this for the X-Files intro. And I'm thinking it'd be great to freeze this animation and just dangle this, which, by the way, my friend Dan Stern pointed out, that's a pretty sick leap for having the kickstand still down, which, my bad. But
that was the style back then, though, you know?
It was, yeah.
Live on
it definitely was.
Kickstands down. That BMX culture.
Clear eyes. Can't lose. I am going to dangle this thing in Cinema 4D. What about you? What are you going to do, pal?
Oh, my gosh. Well, first off, I'll take a little fun break to show off something that I built in Cinema 4D that might actually be a good... let's see, am I sharing still?
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Might be a way to ramp up into something else that I do today. Let me just get this loaded up here. So what I've got here is I've got this little model of a jet, and I have 2 emitters in my scene. And what they kind of combine to do, actually 3 emitters. There's one secretly hidden inside my jet here. And what it becomes when I press F8 to play is this. All right, let's see. Did I press F8? No, I didn't. Here we are.
Oh, my God.
Now the comp is live, and I call this the balloon shooting game.
You're kidding
Inside
me.
Cinema, I can move my missile shooter to try to pop these
Michael, are you
balloons.
seeing this?
Yes.
I am, and it's fantastic.
I feel like
it
this
is
is something
so much fun. It's a game you could play right inside Cinema 4D. It's so much fun.
I can't tell you how often I'm playing Cinema 4D and thinking, God, I wish I was playing a game right now.
And you need to
so
play.
You too can be the U.S. military and fly a $2 billion trillion whatever dollar jet to shoot down the time.
I was like, what kind of information are you about to declassify on air, Mike?
Yes.
Yeah, no. It's just,
the best thing about watching this show is that one of the three of us does know if those things were in fact UFOs, but just can't say.
I will say, unrelated to that, I'm working on cleaning this up for you. We're planning to share this out at some point soon. I'm working on a file right now.
You're planning to like share info soon, or the file? You mean?
I'm going to share this file. I don't think. I think I'm going to keep it.
You're not going to declassify anything for us.
I'm going to set this so that you can just drag it around up, down, left, right, and not do rotation. Or should the controls be rotation or should they be movement? I think movement.
I think movement is a little bit more fun. I'm trying rotation right now.
I'm going to lock the rotation.
It's more challenging for sure.
So I'm going to document it, hide the unnecessary things, make it all cleaned up so we can share this later.
Thanks, Michael.
And I was trying to use I'm using the
Frigby Chill in the chat says, didn't cinema used to have chess in it? Yes, Hashi, can you hop in? Can you make a new file?
Yeah.
New file. And fire the commander off. Shift C. This is the commander. In Cinema 4D, you can type in any command. Type chess. And double click on chess. And boom.
What?
Now you can play chess inside Cinema 4D.
What? Why? That's incredible.
Are you kidding me?
No, you don't want to go up there because Hashi.
I love when we tease Michael with our ineptitude.
Wait, I know.
I mean, right away. Why would you? Anyway, so yes, there's a chess game right here inside Cinema 4D. And
I love it. I like to make horrible logic leap errors in front of Michael, and I like to use Comic Sans and Papyrus in front of Seth. It delights me in a sociopathic way.
I think that's more masochistic than sociopathic. But anyway, yes. So once we get this file cleaned up and ready to share out, you'll have 2 games you can play inside Cinema 4D.
Heck yeah.
Chess and the Commander, and this file, once we get it in a place we can share it out.
Oh, thank you so much, Michael.
Incredible.
So, just to chat a little bit about all that really was you can create a sphere in Cinema 4D. I learned from Darren Frankovitz that it's nice to switch it from a standard sphere to something more like a hexahedron or something that has more distributed points on it. And then you can easily add a simulation tag called cloth if you want. We'll go with the simplest version of this since, here we are. Let's add a plane, and we'll add one of the other simulation tags called the collider tag. And if I play this, you'll see that now look at that. It's just a lovely ball made of cloth, and it just collapses right there onto the thing. So it's that easy to start playing with something that is, cloth in origin. And within your properties of that cloth tag are things like bendiness, stretchiness. I could turn up the stretchiness and turn up the bendiness a little bit, the bounciness if I wanted. Those things might kind of cancel each other out if it's so stretchy. And then you can start getting, look at that. I've created a UFO for you, Seth. Here we go.
You did it. Look at that.
It's perfect. This is called the paper plate with a burrito on it style thing. But I love these kind of dynamics. They're a lot of fun. And there's also this one called balloon. And if I click on balloon, right now the pressure is just set to 1. So I'll just press play. And now look at this. This is a great way to simulate like a water drop, like some water drop tension.
That is very fun to look at.
It's just gorgeous, right?
That's
if you overpressure it a little bit more, you start to get into the territory where it's inflating itself so much that, let's see, I don't know when it'll start to...
Actually, you're making flubber now is what you're doing.
Basically. All right, I can overpressure it as much as I want, oh yeah, look at this. Now I've got this really ridiculous thing. I can take this plane maybe and kind of.
I love the first few frames.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at that.
So the physics in Cinema 4D are just so fun to. Oh no, come back, no. Okay, I need more frames for this game. This is the blubber, the blubber interactive game. But have a play with these. One of the crazy things about the cloth materials is that you can go into the tag for them, and under surface you can enable tearing, and that is a whole lot of fun. We played with it a little bit on our Hulkify episode, where I think, Seth, you did more exploration with learning how cloth tearing and cloth whatever.
Yeah, we did that on
garment
there, and
creating.
also on the Dementoraptor episode, whichever one that one was.
Oh yes, we had a lot of cloth on the Dementoraptor. That was a bunch of fun. So you can enable tearing that is based on a couple of different things. Like in this case, it can tear past deformation of 150%, and then you can guide the tearing by an angle. So if I had this tear past 300% or something, that means that it'll. Oops. Oh, I guess it inflated right away and popped itself.
Oop.
That was a faster tear than I thought it was going to be. But yeah, this is a lot of fun to play with, and you can get some really cool, crazy results. In fact, I'm going to turn off my gravity and see what other kinds of weird things that I could get. Seth, you're welcome to take it back if you want to show off what you're up to.
The thing is, I actually I'm going to need a little help setting up the rig that I want to do with this Raptor. I'd love to do, so like for example, I found your Ragdoll project file that you made of me, and I used it for the X-Files opening, and it's really fun to just bring that thing up really high and then just drop me. I would love, we don't have to give the Raptor this Ragdoll thing, but I'd love to know from you guys, like, how do I attach a rope to this thing and dangle it so that it kind of hangs with gravity? Like, point me toward the right direction to go for that kind of a thing.
All right. So what you would probably want, because of the Raptor's shape there, is I would create a container for the Raptor, because I think that using a mesh object would be best.
Okay.
So, for example, can you pose the Raptor so it's slightly in a pose like it's being picked up from the hips?
Like it's being picked up from the hips. Yes, I can.
So let's start there.
What I could do, I thought I had the bike in this null. I can.
Yeah, like right there's lovely.
Yeah. I mean, how far do you want me to go? Do you want me to like pose the tail?
Just let the tail bend down a little bit, sort of just a slight. I'm like tracing it with a mouse on my screen, even though you can't see the mouse. Just give it a nice, just like it's slightly hanging down, like my arm in this little window here. A little less. Yeah, like here, and now just go like to one of the root joints there and bend it down a little bit more. Yeah, like right there. Okay. Now, create a box. Just a cube object.
I'll create a box. Boopity boop.
All right. Now, I want you to take the little handles for that box and make it so it's basically like a container that's very tightly fitting that Raptor, but it fits all of the Raptor and all of the bike in it.
Okay. Now it's time to play package that Raptor. Nope, that all sounded weird. Never mind. I'm gonna make this guy.
You can make that see through there.
Anytime I'm reminded,
it's like Demolition Man. This Raptor was frozen in a block of ice just one day riding his BMX.
It is like we just found the first preserved,
completely preserved tissue samples and everything. It's gonna thaw out.
Oh, that's the happiest thing in the world.
They're from the Cretaceous, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, what I was trying to think of an Encino Man style title based on that, but I realized that Encino had nothing to do with the period. It was just
that's.
I was trying to say like Cretaceous. Yeah, it doesn't work.
No, I got news for you. Encino is not.
So yeah. Yeah, so the plot would be there's like a kid.
I do love saying something's from the Encino period.
Yes. He wanted wanted a bike and a friend for Christmas. Got neither. So he decided to go out digging in his backyard and stumbled upon this frozen velociraptor we left in his garage up on some wood blocks somehow.
I mean, how tight do I need this to be?
The tighter the better. And what I often recommend doing is adding like 3 or 4 subdivisions to that cube.
Okay.
Just a few, and then you can make it even tighter. But you know what? This is actually probably enough.
Okay.
Davey B from the chat mentions that you could put the Raptor and bike into a volume builder and massively reduce its polygons for a good envelope around it.
That's true.
True, I could do that. But the thing is, I've already started doing this.
It's funny that that technique reminds me of Aaron Rabinowitz's old super tight garbage mats tutorial.
Indeed.
It's like the 3D version of that.
Super tight garbage mat.
Yeah, so this will work fine for now. So
block of ice. Okay.
Michael, do you remember if you need to convert this cube to geometry before using it as a mesh deformer?
I think you don't anymore.
Okay, let's try now. So you've got this, and now what we want is a
mesh deformer.
Here we go. So grab your bike and everything and throw them into the mesh deformer.
Okay, not the cube.
The bike and Raptor and stuff. All right. And now on the mesh deformer, for the layer, drag in your cube.
Drag into there. The cube.
Oh, no. Wait, go back out. Yeah. Go just highlight the mesh object.
Yeah.
And then under cages, there you go. Drag the cube to the cage there.
Okay, I see.
There you go. And then I think you need to say either initialize or apply or something like that.
Initialize.
Great. Perfect. Okay, so now save this as a new thing. Iterate and save, just so I don't want the integrity of Raptor Wheelie.c4d to be
save incremental. Is that I've never
save incremental.
All right, done.
Great.
The save incremental feature is available in both Cinema 4D and After Effects, and I highly recommend folks use it. Anytime you go out to make a major change in a project, or you've rendered something out, and the client goes, "Hey, can you change blah blah blah?" Increment and save. I use it all the time because eventually they're going to say, "Can we go back to whatever?" And if you've saved over, you'll be like, "No."
Mm-hmm.
Me every day.
So save frequently and save incrementally frequently as well.
You know what? I forgot. I should have had you divide up the cube a little bit more before I had you initialize it.
Well, I'll just undo real quick.
Either undo one step, and then on the number of segments there in the cube settings, just make it like 5 or something.
5 each.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
I did it.
Now do that and go back to there. Drag that into the cage. So now we've got all of this stuff. So now what you want to do is you want to switch to like a front view or something, and then grab your pen tool.
Grabbing the pen tool, this guy.
And just draw
like
right along the middle, like leading up to the top of that, a straight line with like 6 dots. Like
top of the container.
One
Raptor?
is right at the top of the container.
Okay.
And then just do like
boop,
like just a handful more straight up.
Boop, boop, boop.
Great. All right. So that's enough. Now escape out of that.
Escape.
And then on your spline, you can add a rope tag, a simulation rope tag.
Simulation rope. Okay.
Excellent. And now I think it might be a tag for the spline called connector. Simulation connector.
Or belt.
And then see that search radius thing there?
Yes.
It's like 1 centimeter. You're going to turn that way up and check update live, and then you can
always draw. Is that what I'm?
Oh, sure, always draw. And then press create at some point. And what should happen?
It won't let me weirdly.
Oh, let's see. Oh, maybe the update live undoes that. Sorry.
Okay. Create.
Yeah. So try creating and seeing if a little triangle of, you can go to a perspective view or something now. See if that cage is in any way trying to, so increase the search radius. Oh yeah, that's way too small.
Okay.
The search radius should be like maybe even a couple hundred.
Okay. Done.
Try that.
Create.
And now create and see if any little yellow lines got appeared up on the top there. Looks like none.
None.
So let's try a larger radius.
Wow, really? Okay.
Because I don't know how big your object is.
Create.
Oh, we haven't put I'm sorry. Go to your cube and add a cloth tag. It didn't know it was an object that it could be tied to.
What did I
Sorry.
just do? Tag simulation cloth.
And if you want a very competent presentation of this technique, Darren Frankowitz does it in the middle of my bringing inanimate objects to life tutorial. In this exact same form where Darren is instructing me how to do this.
So I've got cloth tag on it. What do I do?
All right, now go back to the connector settings there. Now it's in the same universe as the simulators, and because it wasn't there. Look at that.
There you go.
So now that object is tied to this. So you could
weird circus.
now go to your spline again.
Okay.
And then go to point mode and select the very top point of your string.
Boop.
Great. And then for that, you're going to now say
select it instead. Boop.
Select it. Go to your rope tag now.
Go into my rope tag.
And then under mix animation,
okay,
you're going to say with pins.
Pins.
And then check that.
It's checked.
And then, I don't remember, do you need to create a point selection tag? You might. Try that. Try to, with the object selected in point mode, go to, let's see, I usually know this from the menu, so I'm not sure what menu you're in.
Oh, wait, no. Oh, what am I doing? I'm adding a
usually what I do is I go to
like a save selection thing, store selection.
Yeah, exactly. Select
done. Stored
selection. There you go. Now drag that into the highlight your
mesh
rope tag again.
Rope tag. Or rope tag.
And then under the map for pins, drag the point map thing down into it.
Boop.
There you go. And now I think you can press play.
And what'll happen?
And I think.
Oh, it's rainbow and it's rainbow wheeling me. Oh, here we go.
It's thinking.
There we go.
All right. So now.
Okay, it's happening.
The cage is hanging from the thing, and
I don't know
why I don't know what the deal is with the mesh deformer. Oh, is the mesh deformer supposed to be inside the?
Oh.
Inside the null object? I don't remember what order it goes in.
Yeah, Michael, why is that happening?
Why are you listening to me? I don't know what.
Why is this just falling? Why is the raptor not inside there?
Nuts.
Sorry, what?
Why is the raptor just sitting there inside this?
Was the mesh deformer supposed to be inside of the null object? What happens if you do that?
The mesh deformer has to be inside the null object, yes.
Yeah,
Copy
sorry.
that. Okay.
Go back to frame one, though.
Oh, oops.
Now reinitialize.
Oh, reinitialize. Okay. On initialize.
There you go.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah,
Ooh,
and that's
nice.
what happens. That's what happens when you move things not on frame one.
I'm sorry.
I did move it on frame
I've messed this up.
Hang on. So wait. Go to frame one. Drop the mesh inside the null.
None of the parts are outside of that mesh. Drag it in there, and then
hit initialize.
Let's try it. What happens if you click on advanced? Can you say like down there? Can you say like extended? Like say ignore?
It says ignore.
Oh,
I would suggest starting like just making a whole new mesh deformer.
Okay.
In case this one's.
Could put. Oh yeah, this one's attached to the rope already and stuff. So
that's okay. We'll figure it out. Mesh. And What did we do? I've already forgotten.
Now put that in the null object.
All right.
And now for cage, drag the cube into it and say initialize.
Cube, cage, initialize. Bah!
It looks like it's got to be a little bit bigger.
Okay.
It's missing the front of the nose, and I don't know what's going on with the tail. It may be because it's a rigged character that technically the position of him isn't really his position. That's my only guess.
That is possible. Turn off his skin deformer.
Okay.
Just
that's
uncheck
why.
this.
That's why it's happening.
Yeah, that's
why.
exactly what's happening.
So hang on. So what I need to turn off? What am I turning off? The skin?
Yep.
So,
turn that off.
or you can
Just
right-click on the
uncheck it.
whole null object and say current state to object before adding the mesh.
Yeah,
deformer.
if you want to keep him in that position, you could with the skin deformer on.
Oh, copy. Okay.
That way you can
Great.
keep him in that position.
Terrific.
Yeah. So current state to object.
Current state
We're really
to
experts in our field, everyone.
Well, some of it anyway.
Did it create it again? Oh, I guess it did. And
Yeah.
that's
So
it.
yeah, so you just delete it, and then you'll have what you want.
I have what I want. All right. So now.
So
mesh
you
deformer.
can get rid of the whole bone hierarchy now because it's not driving anything.
Buy bone
Like
hierarchy.
all you need is the raptor and the bike.
Hate bone hierarchies. We're going to go to mesh deformer.
Yep.
Hope people are learning from this. Cube into the mesh.
Yep.
Mesh into the null.
Yep.
Initialize mesh.
Because deformers have to be in the hierarchy of the thing they are deforming.
And in fact, you could make the top ceiling of that mesh a lot closer to the raptor body.
Guys, it's happening.
All right, here it is. All right. So now your raptor
Solid.
is hanging from it.
So I can go to this point. Okay, hang on. How do I attach this point to like its own an object, like a null object or I don't have to.
Now you'll need a cloth belt.
Okay. So
If you're attaching it to an object that's not in the
because I was going to create an object and I was going to add a vibrate parameter, a vibrate tag to it to basically
that's a great idea.
make it dangle around. So I'd add a belt tag to this.
So you'll need to add a yes. So add like a square that looks like or like either a cylinder or a square, whatever the object is. Or you're doing a null. That's fine.
Yeah, I was going to do null. Okay.
Yeah,
All
just
right.
do the null. Move that up to the top there somewhere, kind of near the top of the string.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be exact, but should be
This is
pretty close.
Moving pretty slow. All right, there we go.
And now you want to go to your spline.
Okay.
To your to the rope tag. I mean, on it.
Okay.
And then you're going to go to. Oh no, never mind. You're going to right-click on your spline and add a cloth belt. Simulation. Cloth belt.
Okay.
There we
belt
go.
on.
So belt on, and then drag your null into that belt on thing,
Copy that.
and then say set.
Set. I'm not on frame one.
Ah.
Is that okay?
We'll try. We'll see.
Uh,
And it should create a little teeny like yellow, like it did earlier, between your null and the very top of your spline,
I don't.
or it's supposed to.
I don't see one.
Let's see.
Oh, the null's way over here. What the heck? All right, let me try.
And
this.
here I'm pretty sure you can attach it to a null. I think I did this this very similar thing in that linked tutorial there. But I had Darren Frankovitz helping me, not myself.
Yeah, it's not happening for some reason.
Son of a gun. Okay.
I mean, you should probably get to your own effect. You got 40 minutes left in the show. I can figure something out here.
That's true. I don't even know what effect I want to do.
Really?
I'm curious to try to audience in the chat, tell me what I'm recreating.
While the audience tells you that, I would like to show everyone this clip from the I think 2003, 2004 short film called Suburban Tumbleweed, starring a 12-year-old sibling of mine. And here's a little sequence featuring UFO.
I know you're here.
Wait for it.
What do I do now?
Look out!
Made a Play-Doh. Visual effects fully done in Final Cut Pro. And by the way, the goal here was I was really into Wes Anderson at the time, and Life Aquatic had just come out with all of Henry Selick's underwater animation. So the intent here was to make something gimmicky and stupid looking. And I accomplished it.
Hey.
And yet here I am teaching people visual effects. All right. Anyway.
Look at that. What an age we live in.
What an age we live in.
The chat has suggested that you do something cool and something adventurous.
Ooh, I love something cool and adventurous.
Cool and adventurous. That sounds good.
That's all the chat has said so far.
I feel like that's what. Yeah,
I think Hashi wanted more like, what sort of shot would you like him to recreate from some of the alien, UFO, UAP things we've discussed earlier?
Hashi, I would say either the Independence Day, like milk tank thing, or that really cool wide nope shot. You did the nope shot already. You did that already. So I would say
we did a pass of that.
Yeah.
It involved. Let me see
Minions.
if I can find the clip. Let's see what that episode was called. Nope, right? Let me see. Renders. Oh yeah, here we go. I've got it right here.
It's so good.
So exciting.
I love it.
So
I was
many.
on vacation for this week.
Yeah, you're either sick, on vacation, or filming a feature film. It was one of those.
I just went on Twitter and I looked down and I see that is the result for the show, and I was so bummed that I wasn't on the episode.
And I'm wanting to remember how this worked. So I'm getting all
Okay. So what am I doing wrong? Okay, just a stick. That's actually really fun to do it that way.
Great.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember exactly what it is that.
I love that you did like a long stick with a string at the end. I'm going to do that.
Well, that's basically what the tutorial. The again aforementioned tutorial was all about.
I know. I already forgot about it.
Connector. I don't know why I'm in inches. Oh, I was trying to build a model of something, and so I accidentally I left all of my units in inches. Create. Come on. Create, clear, create. Oh, why is this not taking this? You know you want to grab onto this. Create. How many inches big is this thing? 300? 700? No. You can watch the tutorial.
Okay, so we don't know.
This is ridiculous. We don't know, and there's an existing recorded version of what to do in this scenario, so I'm going to call it. Okay, so we were talking about that Independence Day cool milk tank shot, right?
Yeah.
That feels like a cool one to try to simulate. So
while you get started, this does remind me of a story that a friend of ours once told. I won't reveal who they are, just in case I don't want it told. It might have been told on the show before, in which they inherited a shot from a big VFX house on a big feature film. And this VFX house that originally had the shot requested that they use it's this big cloud movie shot like this. And they requested that they use their proprietary volumetric thing. And this person said, absolutely. And then hung up the phone and turned and said, okay, we're going to drop this in After Effects and you're going to put in a picture of clouds and we're going to put liquefy on it, and showed that to the director, and the director freaked out, loved it, and it's in the movie. So
True tales of how things get done.
So I'm curious what your approach is going to be here, Hash. If it's going to be a big simulation thing, or if you're going to go pure action movie kid, After Effects liquefy on us.
It's a good question. There are so many ways you could go about doing this, and I always try the hard way and then fail and wish I had done the easy way at the end of the show. So I don't know if I should listen to my own advice and just try that right off the bat, or if I should nope just try it. All right.
I think we could do it the hard way and then try to save time for the easy way.
All right. So let's do this boring version where I will say I'm going to create a flying saucer on my own. I'll just create an oil tank shape here. I'll make it about that tall. I'll add a handful of height segments. I'll add a bunch of rotation segments, about this many. There we go. That's starting to look like a ship, right? Let's see. I want a little bit of width on the side. And then I'm going to press C so I can collapse the transformations on that. Or not. Here we go. Okay, so now we've got this guy. Let's resize the whole thing a little bit, because that's a little bit... Yeah, I want more of this effect. All right, and I also want to jump back to point mode. I want a little bit more detail on this ship, so this is very silly, but let's take the... ring selection maybe, and grab or not ring, I probably did want loop selection, and let's grab all of these things. Let's see, how many points? Oh, why did I subdivide it that many times? I didn't think I did. Right, let me undo back to where I had my settings. How many did I do?
I don't know.
93. 50. I didn't need 50. I want 5. There we go. There we go. So now I can select these two right here. All of those points, all of these points, and now I'm going to scale them inward. And now look at that. Now I've got a nice little lip on my spaceship. And then I'm going to go to the whole shape, and I'm going to squish it down a little bit. Okay. There's my spaceship. All right. It's imposing, it's scary, it's ginormous. And let's add some, let's go to the asset browser and see what kind of stuff we have. What should I look for? Maybe sci-fi? Maybe metal? Let's see, metal materials. I want, let's see what this one looks like on it. Okay, I'll let that load up for a moment. And I don't know if this is this a redshift material? What kind is it? Oh, it's redshift. Redshift is not going to, oh, it has the tag right there letting me know. I'm going to do a standard one because I'm just going to do...
I need to, hang on. I just want to clarify. When he says milk tank, he means milk, like the
milk.
liquid that comes from teats. I said teats, like a cow's or a whale's. Because they literally pour milk into
Who else?
liquid. Cats. Platypuses is...
Hey, Michael, while he's working, why the hell isn't this rope connecting to my to this stick here? Oh, where'd it go? Damn it. Oh, there. Why isn't that rope sticking to it? We did the cloth belt. Drag the cylinder into it. Hit set. Shouldn't I be able to move this cylinder around and it moved the rope around? No?
Only while it's playing.
Only while it's playing?
Yeah, because it's a dynamics thing, so
Still
movement
not
only
happening.
happens.
Still not happening.
But, so hang on, I didn't see the creation of this because I was trying to clean up trying to make the balloon game shareable. which it is now, by the way. I have a handy link I'll be popping in the chat shortly.
Nice. The spline is connected to the Raptor box, and then we added a belt tag, a cloth belt. Drag this cylinder into the belt on and hit set.
You need to specify what points you want to belt.
Okay, how
first.
do I do that?
So select your spline and go into point mode, select the point you want, and then hit belt.
Oh.
So lose the belt tag because just in case it's got dirty data in it.
Dirty data. I don't have a tag for that.
And you may need to have the cylinder be an editable object. I'm not sure. I know I used to be able
Current
to.
state object.
What?
Okay.
Oh, that's one way to do it. Or you could just press C on your keyboard.
You know what? I don't like doing that. Feels gross.
Or you can click the make editable button on the left side of the screen.
Damn it to hell, Michael. Fine, I'll do it the way you want.
No, it's just what this does is it just runs a command to do basically current state object.
All right. So spline, the point connected, point selected. I now do what? Add the tag?
The belt tag, yes.
Now, which belt tags? Cloth or rope?
Rope.
Rope. It's not what we had before, actually. So now, with that selected, I
Put the cylinder in there.
Cylinder into the object. Hit set.
And hit set. Yes. That should be more doable.
Did it. Do you think something happened? I'm going to hit play. I'm going to move this cylinder around.
Not in polygon, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Here. Oh, it worked.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sorry, I was distracted earlier.
Never apologize. Never surrender. Thank you, sir. Hashi.
What's up?
How's that going?
Oh, I'm done.
Are you doing the same thing? Oh, no. Look at it. I'm done. Oh, my God, you are.
Right,
so all you need to do is turn the heat temperature off and fuel or whatever, and then you just have the density.
Turn off. Yes. Exactly what it's saying. Holy hell, it's happening.
Oh, my gosh. Okay. So just to recap, so I found this. It's the concrete texture. It actually works great for a large scale thing. And then I added a cylinder right here. And then I added this thing called the pyro tag. I'll delete that and just show you again. Cylinder, like just a cylindrical object. I've got barely anything in this comp. But then I go right here and I say simulation tags, pyro. And now it'll create this pyro object right here and a pyro tag on my object. I'm going to go to the pyro tag. I'm going to turn up the voxel size a little bit because we're live streaming right now. And under my pyro emitter, I can go down and we've got several things. We've got the temperature enabled here and we've got the density enabled here. So it's adding 10 degrees of density every second, and also the temperature is set at 4,000 degrees.
So you can turn the temperature off if you don't want the fire and just want the smoke.
I want a little bit of the fire, just for a little bit of color. I'm going to try setting it at 1,000 degrees and pressing play again. So now I've got these rising clouds, and because I put a collider tag on my oil tank here, it means that it's going, oh, look at this side.
Oh, that side looks so good.
That's awesome.
Oh my gosh. So look how oh yeah, so I should be coming the other direction on this thing. Let me send the this is only because I don't have any lighting in here and this happens to by default like, look like that, right? Or would it work if I just did this? Will this do the same thing? Maybe this will. No, because the simulation is being lit by like automatically, right? Oh, that's silly. Okay, because I'm not taking this simulation and outputting a VDB and texturing it up and making it look awesome in Redshift. I'm doing the VFX and Chill version, which is to dive in here, grab my oil tank, add 2 keyframes to it. One that's before the smoke, way back here, and one that's after the smoke, right here.
Hey, Hush,
now
what is?
I just go back to this side. And press play. Now that smoke is going to rise up, and hopefully it fills the frame before this pokes through.
Dude,
yes.
What if you send it through the cylinder?
Oh, that's a good idea. So the cylinder I can just go into and I can tell it to not be visible here.
And what's the, also in the pyro, can you turn down whatever force is sending it up, or does that mess everything up?
That would be the buoyancy here or the scene settings. Let me go to pyro, and so you'll see that there's a pyro object in here, and that's just so you can have quick access to your fire settings in here. But if we go to pyro's settings right here under pyro, we should be able to go to the density buoyancy, and I'm going to change that. Instead of to -5, let's set it to -1.6. And right now what's happening is it takes the smoke a second to build up. This is very much like when you're doing it in a milk tank, where you have to pour the milk in until it establishes your clouds, basically. And then you push your object through. Seth, I cannot tell you how excited I am about how well this turned out with very little mussing.
So fast.
That's so much the time when I'm working with pyro in Cinema 4D. It's like, oh my gosh, it works way faster than I expected it to. Like, it's just, it's like,
and another thing I could do is, like, on the pyro object itself, I could go down to its let's see, advanced properties here. Let me just scroll down here. If I go to my pyro tag, under combustion and dissipation. Right now, the dissipation is set at 7%. You'll see if I turn that up pretty high, watch what happens when I play. It's just basically the fire goes out right away. It dissipates immediately, and all of its heat disappears. And that's why this default value of 7 is pretty cool. And if I turn that down just a little bit further, it means that those things will last even longer. So it's only going to dissipate like 3%. And so that way, some of this stuff up top will probably remain when the ship starts pushing through.
You know what? Oh, there it freaking is. Okay.
I truly did not
expect that to work so fast.
I thought we would be here all the rest of the show, but this is what, like 10 minutes?
Now, here's a weird question. Maybe you adjust this already. Can you double up on the cylinder, sandwich the ship, turn buoyancy negative on the top cylinder?
No.
Okay.
What I could do...
I mean, you could.
You can't... Well, you could create a second simulation scene. That's the issue with... you can't mix pyro vortice because they're trying to blend together. So if they're going to interact, you can't have one...
The other thing I was going to say...
But what I can do is I will duplicate this cylinder, and it's going to be a very complicated process. So I'm going to hold down Control and drag it up. And now there are 2 pyro cylinders. And this second pyro cylinder, I'm going to drag it back here, move it up here. And remember that it's invisible because I told it to be invisible here. But I can just scale it down, make its radius a little bit smaller.
Hashi, I tell you what, dude.
Put it right on the front of the ship, and then I'm going to parent it to the oil tank.
Hashi, I'm going to set up a plate for this. Do you think we can render this and comp this by the end of the show? Oh my gosh. What frame rate is that at?
Oh my gosh. Well, let's say 24.
Well, I was going to say if you go like 48
Cinema's default is 30.
I was going to say if you go a higher frame rate, obviously the way they overcranked it like crazy in the practical way.
I can pick up what you're laying down. Okay, I want to see where I want a camera here. Let me.
I will say the initial thing with the cylinder on the ground, if you wanted to make it look more like the Nope shot, where the ship is blowing up dust from the ground, you could put forces like field forces or just wind forces using fields to blow through the smoke and get you. And instead of being smoke, you turn off the temperature and just use the density and whatever your renderer is.
Oh my gosh!
Holy crap!
Hashi, that looks so good.
Sorry, guys,
my mic clipping.
Okay,
look at it.
Okay, how fast can you render that out? I'm looking for a plate right now.
Well, to render it out is going to take a second. Let me see. Well, first of all, I want it to look better because I'm going to do a viewport render on this, which is
okay.
Might sound ridiculous, but it's because I just want it to look just like this. Okay, so we've got this. I want a little bit more of this light to follow the ship. So
Here's the
Let me attach the bottom light to the ship.
Also,
see if that messes anything up too much.
Also, there's a way to make the cylinder as small as you possibly can. Make the pyro as small and contained as you possibly can. Because right now it's a wall of pyro, but we're looking for that like cloud. I don't know how to do it.
Let's see. Well, one thing I could do is the cylinder that's emitting these from the beginning could start out here. I could add a keyframe like that. And then by the end of the shot, I'll add a keyframe that puts it back here. And I don't know if that'll do what I'm thinking, but what I'm hoping is, let's go to an extreme side view.
It's actually a smart idea.
What it should look like is my emitter it's putting cloudiness out here. Oh, wow. I don't know why my other cylinder emitter ended up so far back. Oh, I probably parented it at an odd point in its development. Okay, let's put it right there. Now let's see. So from this extreme side view, one pyro instance right here that's moving slowly backward, one that's on top of the ship moving forward. So hopefully you start to get more of a shape of clouds like this. See, so it'll come through. In fact, I kind of want to do that with both of the. You were right, Seth, to not have this attached, this top one attached, but have it start maybe here, add a keyframe, and by the end of the shot,
I was right to
move
recommend
backward in sync with the other one.
I was definitely right to specifically recommend that. I definitely did that.
All right, and you can see a little bit of the top of the ship in the shot, right? So let's go to...
Yes, you can. It's at a weird angle.
Okay, so we're doing a very fast version of this, everybody. We're going to go to our render settings, and I don't remember if I have load preset. Oh, where's my Hashi preset? Okay, fine. We'll do it this way. We'll do it manually real quick. 1920 by 1080. Let's do the frame rate you can set. So I'm just going to say 30.
Oh, Hash, you can't see that. You cannot see the top, buddy. I'm sorry. I look at the clip
totally
right now.
You could. That was me misremembering.
No, here, look at the. If you want to re-see it, here's the reference. I have it up. There is significantly less cloud on the. Once it comes through, there's less on the bottom than there is on the top, just like what's happening in your simulation. So, yeah.
Okay, so let's see what we've got here.
It was very funny to fade from the reference to your viewport. To your viewport. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so I know this is going to seem silly, but since I'm doing viewport rendering, Pyro has a default shader on it right now. And what you can do is you can export this as a VDB and put crazy textures on it as you like. But I don't have that set up right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put everything in a group, and I'm going to rotate this group a little bit this way, and I'm just going to see what the lighting conditions are if I'm rotating the whole group. Because one side is backlit, one side is front lit. I want to get it to kind of that 3/4 perspective, just for the sake of the viewport rendering. This is not an official recommendation. This is a VFX and chill time saving.
Hopefully in a future version, viewport rendering of Pyro, we will be able to take into account more of the viewport lights.
Okay.
Hopefully.
We're getting there. We're getting there with this. Okay. So let's go to a view. How big do we want this ship to be by the end? I will turn off my Pyro for just a second so I can preview. Ship's going to be about that big. Does that feel all right?
Yeah.
All right. Great.
Are you changing your camera from the default 35mm to something more different?
Right now it's not. Let me see.
I wouldn't go too tight. I would say, let me pull up the clip.
I think you need to move the camera back and zoom it in some.
Back and zoom
it in.
You
think?
That's a good idea.
Okay.
Because right now it looks more like a miniature.
All right, so let's go to here. Let's change the focal length a little bit and angle angle down a bit, and now I'm going to see. Here I've got to play a balance between getting crashing with the stream and getting this right. So let's go to our pyro settings. Okay, the voxels can be as small as 2. So let's go to our fire on the bottom cylinder, on the top cylinder, and change them to, let's try 3. Let's see if this looks way less. There should be a little bit more detail on these clouds here because the voxel size is smaller. Oh man, I feel like I'm missing a little bit of the temperature. Let's go to which one is the bottom one? This one's the bottom cylinder. I'm going to turn up its temperature just a little bit more. Let's try, oops, I should probably just type. Let's try 2000. See if that's too fiery. I don't know, it's maybe too fiery. I'm trying to get the fire effect out of to color it instead of just doing the legit thing of accepting the clouds for who they are. Okay, null object. Shoot. I'm going to try turning the whole simulation back to get more of the backlighting that I was getting before.
Why has no one just shot this plate for us? I'm like going through every resource I have, trying to find a good replacement.
Okay, let's see. I'm going to back off the camera just a little bit more. Okay, so this seems like this will be an appropriate thing. Okay, I'm going to go to my settings, and we're going to do a viewport output. It's going to be so ridiculous, but it's going to be the output. I'm going to save these images to our folder here, UFOs, renders. Let's create a new folder because we had so many renders for this week already. Seth, we worked hard on this show this week. I would say an absurd amount. Oh, ID $.
We put the amount that we wanted to put into this.
Jason Murphy asks, is there any way to slow the smoke down so it's more like a static cloud until a UFO comes through? There is. You could lower the pressure. You could lower the buoyancy. There's a lot you can do.
Yeah, and let me see if I can turn down that buoyancy a little bit more. Just one last thing before we get this going. Yeah, the problem with simulations is like, what would be fun to do is just spend a ton of time with the settings until you got this just right, and you would have a little bit more time to do that. The other thing that I would recommend is I would have moved the emitters, or like turned down the buoyancy by temperature. Oh, let me turn down the buoyancy by temperature and then move these like wands emitting pyro through the space and then line up my objects with it. That didn't make any sense. I'm saying words, but
Nick Smith asks, if you make the edge of the saucer thicker and fatter, will you see more of the smoke wisps getting pushed out of the way? Yes, the bigger something is, the more things it pushes out of the way. Yes.
All right, let's see. Let's go to a straight front view, and so I can grab a rectangular selection of the top points of this. Oops, nope, that's not the oil tank. It's this oil tank right there. We'll grab the top. We'll move these. Come on. I got to render this for you, Seth. How are you finding a plate?
I'm getting perfectionist here. There's it's so hard to find one at the angle that I want it to be at with enough sky. It's like no one would take a picture like that if there's not a giant spaceship frame, in frame.
Yeah, it's a good point. Plus, which is also a reason why a lot of VFX artists have to deal with plate extension, because it's just hard to exactly imagine.
Come on, people, just imagine
what you're supposed to be doing,
Yeah.
Imagine. We did it all the time when we were children.
Imagine dragons.
Imagine dragons in that space. How many lousy articles do you think were titled Imagine Dragons about Game of Thrones when it came out? All right, that's kind of a cooler spaceship dealio. Okay, let's, I better get back to the render settings. Alpha channel, bit of dithering. Let's do a little bit of that. Let's do a little bit of, what am I looking for? I'm looking for...
You need to make sure you switch it from standard renderer to viewport to hardware renderer up top too.
Yeah, viewport renderer and under save, we'll do that. Viewport renderer. Oh yeah, I just want to render.
Go to filter.
Oh yeah, filter geometry only, right?
No, because the clouds are not geometry.
The clouds
I don't think.
are not geometry.
That's what I thought too, but I think
the clouds are geometry.
I don't think they are.
I thought pyro.
Here, go to your viewport settings right now under filter, hit geometry only real quick, and you'll see for sure if it pops through or not.
Wait, where is it?
The right.
Oh, filter, geometry only. Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it works. Cool. Do you want to put a black? Do you want to put a black sky object in there so you have something to pull off of, or does it put out
the alpha will work,
alpha? Okay, good.
Cool. All right, so let's save the. Let's say I'm saving this as TIFFs. There, and let's do it, everyone. Let's watch this render out. Hee. Oh, I made it too big. It's rendering. This is it's like viewport exporting, and naturally, if you're doing this on your own shot, you would increase the voxel size because these 3D cubes are what are considered voxels. They're a dead giveaway. But one thing that I like to do if I'm trying something like this is I think that we could probably vector blur those out of there. All right. I think that we're going to be doing some color correction in post, Seth.
I'm fine with that. I'm equipped for that.
Seth, could you direct your plate in, say, Mid-Journey or in Stable Diffusion or one of those AI things? Question number one. And two, someone's asking, what is a plate? How does he find a plate? A plate is... How do you describe it? It's just like an image on which your visual effects are going to be
doing any visual effects work. So
exactly, it refers back to an animation. You would have different plates that had different layers of information on them, and they would literally be glass plates that you would combine with a background painting in the back, and then the cell painting on a glass plate above that, and perhaps a tree branch on a glass plate in front of that. And so now we just colloquially refer to any layer in your stack as a plate.
Any layer in your stack. Boop-a-bop-ba-dop-bop. I am ready for your render.
All right. Switch over to your side then, and I will send you.
All right. I've got this image of this sky, and then I went into Photoshop and got a
you
depth
did
map.
The thing.
So
Yay.
We should do an episode about depth maps.
We did, and it's
a
really good one.
People could get really into it.
Let's see. I'm going to do some little set mat here. Say depth mat. I'm going to say effects and max so I can adjust that and say luminance. Turn off this bottom layer in this depth map real quick and see. Let's do invert. So now...
Incredible. So what Seth is doing is he's turning this AI-generated depth map into basically a transparency for the city. So you can see the far background is completely transparent. It's like keying out the sky.
So I'll drop this here.
I do not know how long the... let me see. I'm going to take a peek at how those renders are doing. I think that they should all be loaded.
Okay.
If you sync them.
I will.
Oh, nuts! You were right, Michael. It didn't. The alpha doesn't work for Pyro.
That's okay. I can find something. Unless you want to spit on alpha mat while I bring it in and do a rough.
Yeah. See what happens if you bring it in and ignore the alpha.
Okay.
Out of curiosity. Yeah, I should put this in front of black. Sorry, Michael. This is every time I don't listen to Michael. Every time.
TIFF sequence. Well, if you spit out like an AOV, the redshift set alpha.
I mean, if you're doing this in redshift,
if I was doing this in redshift, we have a lot more options. But I'm not. So
let's bring this down. Okay, sorry. It's just fun
perfect.
to see. Oh wow, yeah, that's great. That's weird.
Yeah, it's no dice. Let's see. Output that. Okay, I'm going to save this. I'm going to see if I might try adjusting my voxel size even a little bit more.
Jason Murphy says he heard that you can use the clarity slider in Color Reset to bring out detail in Fire. Correct. That was on a Tip Tuesday post from Red Giant on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. If you're not following Red Giant News on Twitter or Instagram or Red Giant Software on Facebook, highly recommend you do so. Every Tuesday, there are tips that come out, usually 2 tips every Tuesday, on how to use this Red Giant software better. Just really quick stuff that you may not have realized. And there are also some more cool things in the works for short tutorials online. I've got a really cool 80s cool kick butt action sequency kind of graphic that I'm working on a tutorial for right now. That will be coming out. That someone requested on one of the VFX and Chill episodes. Someone said, "How do I make this title?" And we never got around to it on the show. But it's a really cool title from a really cool synthwave band that they made. So I'm doing a "Here's How to Make It" tutorial shortly. That probably this week or next I'll be getting out on the social channels. So hop on there and follow it.
Oh, that's so cool. That's the cool benefit of getting to have a live show with a bunch of requests on it, is that we get the opportunity to make cool stuff for you that is very bespoke.
Like this thing.
Any second, some of the TIFFs in there may start writing over themselves because I didn't think to version this.
Why don't I hit this and just click reload?
Let's see.
Okay, yeah. Things are happening. Okay.
All right, so we are approaching, and I don't remember what the clock was on this, but I feel like it was around 3:30 that we started this process.
I wonder.
Seth is adjusting some levels, and I'm going to do some magic with depth maps to.
We've got like 2 minutes.
Seth, I had no idea we were going to.
Me either.
Pull this off.
We're going to. Here's what I'm going to start doing.
I think you might want to horizontally flop this.
Interesting idea, because we're up high in a building now.
So I feel like the implied lighting.
Horizontally flop it. Got it. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, that's better. Yeah. So good.
Oh gosh, I don't know why it goes so dark there. The viewport preview of your fire simulation is, like it's meant so you can see it kind of in real time. What it's going to look like. It's not really designed to be used as a render, but I've had some success forcing it into my render before.
That's gross.
Adding some vector blur to the flame elements of it, etc.
Bet if we even...
I'm going to see if I can make a different version of it too. Ooh.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how much to color match it to the sky. There's just a nuclear explosion at the top of it.
Though if you saw that in the distance, something. Something not fantastic is happening.
Well, that's just like every summer in LA, right?
It does look remarkably like LA summers. LA summer sounds like a person.
Journalist.
Like the weather,
Hashi, look what we made today. This is.
I had no idea that this was possible today.
So this works for me
so
for just
happy.
like a few frames. So what I'm thinking is, what I might even do is pre-compose this.
I like where you're going.
Am I this crazy? I think I am. I'm going to pre-compose it, move into new attributes. Wait a minute. I have a utility for this. Time stretch. Now I'm going to do it the other way. Pre-compose. And then I'm going to do time warp.
Let's do the time warp again.
It's one word. And let me see. Frame-wise, I want frame... turn off time warp real quick to determine this. Probably frame 75 through frame 212. See you later. What did I say? 75 through 212. I'll do source frame 75. And then go, just stretch it all the way out. And say 212. And turn time back on. So now it's going to take a long time to render, but it will be
because it's trying to calculate a whole bunch of extra frames and things like that.
But the idea is that we'll get that like slow motion milk tank look. You know, there's no reason to be in full resolution. This is so janky looking already. Let's just see.
Good point.
Dun, 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 dun. What if me singing flagged the video, but not the actual clip?
That would be great. That new Google recognize a tune situation. I'm rendering an anti-aliased version of it that may end up looking better. I don't know.
Is it versioned or is it just
versioned?
Okay.
It won't disturb
Let me know
what's
when it's
going on
out.
here.
I think there's a couple of frames in here that get wonky because of I reloaded it before you were done rendering.
Yeah. And yeah, just to reiterate what we're doing was we are literally compositing a viewport render into a visual effects composite. Just it's very silly of us.
Yes, it is. So I'm going to let this thing cache while I'm idle. I'm just going to sit here and be idle.
Be idle.
This is a fun
to cache is heavenly, but to sit idle is divine or something. I don't know where I was going with that one.
Well, folks, we're at the normal show end time, and we have created something surprisingly good in the amount of time we gave ourselves.
Time was 20 minutes.
I'll bet they took more than a half hour on that Independence Day shot.
Yeah. This is going to be our thumbnail, and we're absolutely going to put something like Independence Day clip in 20 minutes or something like that.
20 minutes or your Independence Day shot is free.
That's the VFX and chill promise.
Oh my gosh, it really is. And even what's great is that our show is always free. So
even if you ask for a tornado shot or a simple paint out, if it's not to your satisfaction, you get this Independence Day shot for free. That's the promise.
That really is. And we've teased on the show, or rather, maybe it's just been amongst ourselves, that we would like to, at some point, do an episode where we attempt to do the visual effects for somebody's. If someone is making basically a no-budget movie out there and they have some visual effect shots they're struggling with, we'll have a contest where we'll spend our 2 hours of the show doing the visual effects on their movie. But you have to accept whatever we come up with.
It's funny you say that, Hash. I make no promises, but there's a possibility that someone on the show who made a movie might have some visual effects shots that need to be done and might get permission. Actually, I don't know if it's been asked yet, but is trying to get permission to be able to do some of those shots live on the show.
One of us shot a feature film?
One of us did. Tune in next week to find out who. And
it could be
what do we
me.
got? Do we got some RAM preview here?
It's moving. Maybe it's going too slow. I don't know.
Jason Murphy says, "Where was that offer a few months ago?" Justin the Duke says, "Marvel taking notes." David Fairchild says, "It's a neat idea."
Oh man, this is fun. You know what? Oh, Hashi, you know what you need to do?
Super comp?
I had already super comped.
Oh, yeah.
You need to do is actually crank up the frame rate and then just throw that ship through that pyro.
Yes.
And then you're going to get,
because then you get the whoosh.
Yeah.
Well, in fact, if you want, if you come back to my screen, I can simulate like what that might have looked like. So if I, let's see, if I were in object mode, let me quickly redo this oil tank's position here. Why can't I see my, I'm in geometry only, right? So I want that keyframe, and then this keyframe, let's move it way back here. So it flies right out after the big explosion.
Oh, before we get off, yes, someone says next time we do Top Gun shooting down balloons. If you missed it earlier, Hashi built a game you can play in Cinema 4D where you too can shoot down balloons.
You too? Like Bono and the Edge?
No. You users as well. And the link is in the chat. It is maxonvfx.com/modern.
Am I going to just call them losers? Wait, do that again.
This one. With it stopping right there, it just looks like
I'm here.
It got stuck in an explosion. Like it just like a car crashing into a wall.
Oh, that's so good.
It's so great. Oh yeah, yeah. If this were very few frames, and those are extrapolated, I bet those are awesome frames. Look at this. That's the other fun thing, is that having this in your Cinema 4D window, and this is so few levels. I should save this. I should.
Wait,
save
what's on the other side? What's on the other side?
Say again?
Like, flip the camera around to the other side. I want to see. I guess I'm curious.
This is what they saw.
Well, I'm curious what it would look like in reverse. Basically, if you push it through and then play in reverse, like if you like, I'm trying to see how to get that milk tank look.
Mm-hmm.
We do need to go. Maybe we can pick this up next week or something. But
everybody, thank you for tuning in. We love having your company.
Just
here
look at
for
this shot one more
VFX
time before we go. Look at this. Look what we did today.
Look at that.
It's not perfect, but we did it in 20 minutes. Damn it.
Hey, that's pretty good. Pretty good.
I'm proud of us today.
Seth, I do now believe that there are things that I can't explain, including how you could make an effect shot like this so quickly.
Absolutely.
Wild.
To all of you from Hashi's
nice
channel,
to be in the same office for a change instead of in our boxes.
Buddy, it was so good. It's always good. And I forgot to say that you have my X-Files mug here this week, which on the other side.
I just have my diet soda.
Your X-Files diet soda. My mug here says, I'd rather be watching that episode where Scully gets a lower back tattoo. Thank you. This is my friend Nate Utash, sells these mugs. Look them up. They're great. Cheers, everybody. A really wonderful show. And we'll see you back here next week on Friday. You Action Movie Kid fans, come back. We'll be here on Friday.
Absolutely. It's grow up with us. We can make lots of cool visual effects together.
Absolutely.
And continue to prove that aliens don't exist.
They don't. Well, goodbye, everybody. Have a great week.
Foolish humans. Oh, yes, Kodos. Earth is now ripe for the plucking.